One winter day in 1754, the politician and man of letters Horace Walpole was reading a Persian fairy tale called The Three Princes of Serendip. The story touched him, and writing to his friend Horace Mann, he told of the thrilling approach to life he had discovered from the tale. This ancient story told of the three princes from the island that we now know as Sri Lanka, which was originally called Serendip, who set out on a pursuit of great treasures. They hoped to make their fortune. Well, it's quite an involved story, but essentially the important outcome is this. The princes never actually found what they searched for, but en route they were continually surprised by unanticipated delights. While looking for one thing, they found another. While using the original name of the island, Serendip, Walpole coined the word serendipity. And from that day on, his most significant and valuable experiences were those that happened to him when he least expected them. So how do we define serendipity? Well, the most popular way of explaining it is to refer to it simply as a happy accident. But it can be much more than this. Serendipity occurs when something beautiful breaks into the normal routine of our lives, bringing new vitality and joy. It's something, or it may be something, valuable or beneficial. It is totally unexpected, something we were not knowingly looking for, and because of it, life may never be the same again. Well, the nuances of serendipity may be significant, are such rather, that it may be significant that in 2004, a British translation company voted this as one of the 10 most difficult English words to translate. Well, serendipity often plays a part in the recognition of a new product need, and it's certainly been a major factor in scientific discoveries and inventions. Alexander Fleming accidentally left a petri dish of bacteria open, and a mold had got inside which appeared to have killed the bacteria. And it turned out, as we now know, that it was the fungus. And he turned the fungus into an antibiotic, which we now know as penicillin, which has had an enormous, groundbreaking impact on medicine. Well, God is a God of serendipities, a God of surprises. Things happen often at times when we least expect them. Life may be just routinely ticking over, or we may suddenly find ourselves confronting frustrations or difficulties. Then suddenly, quite often unexpectedly, a new thing happens, and it changes our lives forever. And in today's gospel reading, we see how extraordinary life-changing things can happen to ordinary people. The Annunciation is a story of God's serendipity. Mary, who was most likely a teenager, living in a small town and engaged to a humble carpenter, is taken completely by surprise and told that she's going to give birth to a child who would be God's favored one, a Messiah who would save the world. While nothing could prepare anyone for an apparently impossible scenario like that. And Mary's fear and skepticism is more than understandable. She would have risked making a fool of herself and being condemned by her community. Well, Joseph's experience in the Annunciation story could not easily be described as serendipity. And of course, we hear a little more of his response in Matthew's Gospel. Later, poor Joseph knows he could not possibly be the father. He must have been heartbroken and thinking the worst. He's deeply confused and questions his future relationship with Mary. But ultimately, of course, as the result of a dream, he becomes stronger for it, turning into a strong and loyal husband and carrying out his parental responsibilities, probably with even greater commitment. So as with Joseph's story, sometimes unexpected things happen that seem to engender only anxiety or fear and the reasons for them are far from clear. There are no answers forthcoming, but only later does the true value of that initial revelation fall into place. Well, Giles Fraser, in his Church Times column this week, reminded readers that Advent is, and I quote, "a time to be without answers, to live in hope that something will soon break into our lives that will make sense of the present." Serendipity, it seems, works on all kinds of levels. And for all of us, Christmas is very much about hope and expectation, and managing our own and other people's hopes and expectations. But the deeper point of Christmas, or one of the deeper points, is that it expands the possibilities of our imagination. It's about pointing up our sense of wonder. It's about expecting the unexpected. Everything we do at Christmas, from opening gifts and pulling crackers to watching the fantasy films that hit our TV screens, however trite they sometimes be, are concerned with appealing to our sense of wonder. We are at times in danger of losing this, of course. Compiling gift lists to circulate to family and friends may be expedient, but expediency takes away the element of surprise. It can flatten experience. Although gift-giving means that we show our love by giving generously of ourselves, we can easily, adults especially, lose our capacity to be surprised. Yet we may all hope for something to break into the normal daily routine of our lives. We all need the vitality and joy of new experience. So serendipity is not just for Christmas, but Christmas is a reminder of the possibilities that may be waiting to surprise us at any place and at any time. But in the bigger picture, this is the season in which religious imagination in particular is challenged and opened up. Now, imagination, I know, can be a dangerous word for many in faith circles, because to some it implies empty fantasy, as in, don't be ridiculous, it's all in your imagination. Or it can suggest mere fabrication, falsehood or distortion. But what is faith? Indeed, what has faith ever been without imagination? Faith is a drama, a journey into the mystery and wonder of God. Indeed, the mystery of faith at its deepest level is also the mystery of human existence. And we strive to bring that mystery of faith alive. We use all kinds of symbols, metaphors and images to penetrate faith and bring us in touch with the mystery of the divine. Artists, poets and musicians, indeed all who work in creative endeavour, are undertaking this task all the time. There are times like Christmas where spiritually we should find ourselves living in the space between knowing God and unknowing God. This is the fertile field of the religious imagination. Well, I can best explain what I mean by this knowing and unknowing by referring to a recent radio panel debate in which a Christian member observed that in a sense we worship two gods. On the one hand, there's the image of God that seems conditioned by our own personal conception of God, the image we have imagined and constructed that serves our own needs. And on the other, there is the transcendent God, who is so completely and utterly other, the mystery that cannot be known. This is the authentic, mysterious God who passes all understanding. Well, our authentic religious imagination, and I stress the word authentic, struggles somewhere between these two positions, and we can find ourselves being alert or alive to new possibilities, new interpretations and understandings. At Christmas, our imagination is ignited. Our sense of wonder is overhauled and challenged to prepare us in that task. New experiences, perhaps new friendships, new jobs or tasks that come our way, holidays, entertainments, reading scripture or a spiritual text, and of course, a new life coming into the world, can suddenly compel us to see life and spiritual truth in a new and transforming way. All of these things and more may bring about a new depth of experience. In the Christmas story, Mary and Joseph find themselves at the threshold of something that is going to change their lives, and indeed an event that would change the whole world. Their story reminds us of the power and potential of the unexpected. So what does this mean for us? Our own experience of the unexpected, the serendipitous moments of life, may be far removed from the Nativity, but may be no less significant or transforming for us as individuals. The TV presenter and wit, Dennis Norden, once said, "The only trouble with the unexpected is that it always seems to happen when you are least expecting it." So this Christmas, let us inwardly prepare to expect the unexpected.